They dim the lights before the credits. You watch anyway. Stop. Look at your hand. The phone hits your skin like a confession light. You scroll at 2 a.m., half awake, half ashamed. The laugh track coughs in the wrong place precise. The edit already chose what you will feel. A contestant breaks. A friend cheers. A host smiles like a priest. Your chest tightens. Mirror neurons fire as if you're standing in the same room. Dopamine spikes before your logic raises a hand. That's the algorithmic grammar. Sound, cut, silence, reaction. Repeat. The studio breathes like a living thing. Cameras whisper. Producers lean in. A sound swell thin and surgical presses against your ribs. You taste salt. Your throat is raw. That small disgust? It's curriculum. You learned a vocabulary of outrage and applause without meaning to. You laugh at cruelty. You pity the fall. You clap at triumph. Each reaction is a vote. Each vote feeds a loop that shortens your memory and sharpens your hunger. Outrage keeps you watching. Empathy makes you stop. Curiosity pulls you back for the next hit. Mute the clip now. No sound. Watch the faces move without the soundtrack guiding you. See the seams, the tilt of an eyebrow, the cut that hides a take. 1 second of uncued attention, and the trance loosens. Silence is a lens. Silence is a reveal. Now name it. What did the scene demand from you? Anger, pity, lust, schadenfreude? Say the word out loud, label it. Language shifts the load from limbic impulse to frontal control. Naming is not therapy poetry. It is neurochemical wiring, one lever for one synapse. Question: what will you feed your attention or their economy? Hold that question. Keep it like a pulse. Here's a short truth. Many people binge reality TV to escape life. They don't see how the show teaches them to measure worth by spectacle. Your inner critic learns to speak in sound bites it copied from edits. You notice it the next morning. Your voice is louder, your judgment sharper. That's not character, that's conditioning. Try this test tonight. When the next episode tempts you, mute it, watch in silence, write the single emotion it asked for, then record a 30-second voice memo describing your real day as a scene. Be brutal, be small, be honest. Send the sound to no one. Listen back after a week. You will be surprised which life sounds louder, the edited drama or your own. Stay. Don't leave. There is a mechanism they keep hidden, a pattern of cuts that programs outrage and compresses attention. In the next part, I'll map the exact edits, the tempo of 3-second jump cuts, and the breath techniques that dissolve them. I'll show you how to turn those same circuits into tools for control. You wanted a map? Here it is. Listen close. The engine is simple: tempo, cut, sound. A 3-second jump cut is a scalpel. 92% of reality TV scenes use cuts shorter than 3 seconds. That tempo trains your eyes to seek novelty every half breath. Your attention becomes a twitch. Your reward system, dopamine, learns to crave the snap. That is the edit's heartbeat. Now picture the timeline. Shot 1, wide, grounding, false calm. Shot 2, close up, micro expression. Shot 3, reaction, crowd sound, music swell. Repeat, accelerate, compress. The viewer's brain begins to expect violence of feeling. Mirror neurons mirror not just action but intent. You are wired to rehearse social outcomes: gain, loss, shame, triumph, without ever standing up. Stop. Breathe. 2 slow inhales. Hold. Exhale. Feel the space where the edit would have filled noise. That gap is rebellious. Use it. Here's the professional trick they don't teach on camera. Producers place ambiguity at 0:12 just before you commit emotionally. Ambiguity forces resolution. Your brain commits before your conscience does. That's manipulation dressed as drama. It's the psychology of manipulation made cinematic. Confession. I used to think analyzing it was enough. I was wrong. Analysis is a scalpel. Habit is the wound. You need action. Technique map and interrupt. Step 1. Recognize the tempo. On your next watch, time the cuts. Count silently. 1, 1000, 2, 1000. If the rhythm lands under 3 seconds, you've entered the compressing zone. Step 2. Interrupt with air. Literally breathe into the beat, inhale on the cut. Exhale through the music. That tiny physical shift breaks automaticity. Biology responds. Frontal networks wake, limbic reactivity drops. Microloop. Will breath alone reboot your brain? Not fully, but it creates a slit. A slit becomes an opening. In the next segment, I'll show you how to widen that opening into a habit that lasts. You see the pattern in others' lives. The friend who judges loudest, the co-worker who markets outrage for attention. That pattern mirrors back to your mirror neurons. It teaches you modes of social survival, how to win, how to punish, what counts as relevance. The algorithm reads that behavior and returns more of it. It's a feed-forward loop. Attention begets attention. Stat. A Stanford finding, paraphrased, shows conflict-driven content spikes dopamine more reliably than reward-only clips, meaning your brain prefers drama that unsettles it. That discomfort is the hook. So apply the mirror swap now. When the urge hits, record a 30-second scene, but narrate your small, real victory. A coffee brewed. A hallway conversation that didn't collapse. Make the mundane the hero. Your nervous system gives you the same storytelling dopamine, but now the protagonist is you. Repeat daily for a week. Question. If you can retrain reward with a 30-second voice memo, what else can be rewired? Hold that with you. Keep it like a burned coin in your pocket. Final small test for tonight. Choose one show you know too well. Watch the first 90 seconds on mute, count the cuts, breathe on each third cut. Label the emotion at 60 seconds. Record a 30-second memo about something no camera saw your real tiny win. Send it to no one. This is not performative. This is practice. Practice implants new circuits. Practice rewires the dopamine path. That path determines whose economy you feed, yours or theirs. You feel smarter when you analyze, don't you? That's the trap. Analysis makes you clever. Action makes you free. Picture a friend who learned to shout online because shout got likes. She now talks louder in meetings. She mistakes volume for value. Sound familiar? It should. Mirror neurons don't care about morals, they copy survival signals. You watched someone win by cruelty, your brain stored the pattern. That's how behavior migrates from screen to street. There's a small brutal fact. Emotion is cheaper than nuance. Editors know this. Shorten the cut, increase the feeling, compress the moral frame. Your prefrontal cortex pays rent in seconds. The limbic system moves in. Neuroscience papers summarize it. Plainly, conflict produces more dopamine than steady reward. Your system prefers the ping of drama over slow, steady meaning. Confession. Sometimes I still feel the pull. I notice the itch at midnight, the same twitch that used to send me deeper into feeds. Then I breathe. I record. I name. That little ritual rewires more than guilt ever could. Technique 4, expand the slit into a door. You've already practiced mute, naming, and the 30-second memo. Now scaffold it. Do this sequence tonight when you feel the itch. 1. Breathe 2 full diaphragmatic breaths. 2. Count 3 cuts silently. 3. Name the scene's demanded emotion in one word. 4. Speak a 30-second recount of one real minute that felt good today. Make the mundane heroic. The coffee that didn't spill, the small apology accepted, the hallway conversation that ended without collapse. Do not perform, do not polish. Send it to no one. Why this works? Self-narration recruits networks linked to agency. When you narrate, the brain anchors meaning to action. Dopamine rewards story completion, so give it completion with truth, not with staged outrage. Repetition builds new habit loops. Habit loops override algorithm loops if you feed them more consistently. Micro loop. Could a week of 30-second memos actually change what the algorithm serves you? The answer, yes, indirectly. Your behavior signals preference to the feed. If you stop clicking and start recording, the feed has less to learn about your outrage patterns. And you have created a private reward economy. That's agency transferred. Now a quick statistic to keep you honest. Brief self-generated narratives increase perceived control in experimental subjects. In plain language, talking about your day, even for 30 seconds, makes you feel less pulled by external drama. It's small neuroscience, it's reliable. You will relapse, expect it. The system is industrial grade at luring back the human animal. When you relapse, don't scold, observe. Note the trigger. Was it loneliness, boredom, anger, name it? Record a corrective memo, not a justification. This converts failure into data. Data becomes pattern. Pattern becomes change. Question: if silence and small truths rewire attention, what happens when you use this method not only for shows, but for politics, news, feeds that promise identity? Hold that question. In the last section, I will map how platforms generalize these mechanics and how you can intercept them before they write your narrative. You wanted to know how deep it goes. Deeper than you think. Every platform learned from reality television. The edit became the feed. The confession booth turned into the comment box. Producers were replaced by algorithms, but the psychology stayed identical. Conflict equals retention. Outrage equals revenue. Silence equals death. You scroll through news, influencers, strangers performing sincerity in 4K. It's the same architecture, just better lit. Each video rehearses emotion for you so you don't have to feel it yourself. That's the trade. Convenience for consciousness. You paid with attention and called it freedom. But the pattern can be reversed. Start seeing every feed like a studio floor. Notice the lighting, the framing, the bait words. Ask, what emotion is being harvested here? If you can name it, you own it. If you can't, it owns you. Neuroscience calls this meta-awareness the moment the mirror neurons turn their gaze back on the self. It's the biological definition of awakening. When that switch flips, dopamine still fires, but under your command. You become director and audience at once. Here's a brief truth. People who practice conscious attention 10 minutes a day reduce compulsive scrolling by nearly 30%. Not because they delete apps, but because they feel the micro-pause before the click. That pause is freedom in milliseconds. That pause is everything. Try this tonight. When silence feels unbearable, don't fill it. Count your pulse instead. Watch the screen dim. Hear your own breath replace the soundtrack. That sound, your breath, that's what reality actually is. Not theirs. Yours. You might feel loneliness rush in. Good. That means you've stopped outsourcing it. Sit with it. Loneliness metabolized becomes depth. Depth becomes focus. Focus becomes strength. This is the chemistry they can't patent. Soon you'll see patterns everywhere, politicians framed like contestants, friends editing their lives into episodes, even your inner critic rehearsing lines it never wrote. When you see it, smile. That's the moment control changes hands. One warning before you leave. Awareness itself can turn addictive. Don't worship it, use it. The point isn't superiority, it's empathy. When you notice someone still trapped in the loop, don't mock them, guide them, show them silence, one conscious viewer at a time. Now breathe, exhale the noise, inhale what's real. For the first time, feel your pulse instead of theirs. That pulse is truth. Guard it like a secret. And if you want to keep peeling layers, understanding how entertainment hijacks biology, how dopamine and desire choreograph every frame, there's more below. Books, studies, tools to rebuild attention from the inside out. Use them, train. This isn't entertainment anymore, it's resistance. When this ends, don't scroll. Let silence roll in for 10 seconds. That's the hardest scene you'll ever sit through. And the most honest. You survived the show, now live the life they can't script. Next comes the real exposure, how identity itself is being edited in real time. You think you're immune, you're not. But you can be.